Fortnite is one of the most successful games of all time, generating more money every year than 9 Disneylands. You might think its success is due to the crazy items or constant updates, but what if I told you there's actually a super dark secret behind Fortnite's success? And that every weapon, skin, new feature, and brand new shiny update is actually just a piece of subconscious psychological warfare to low-key brainwash you to keep playing the game. There's 6 main psychological tricks that they use, and I promise once I show them to you, you will never be able to look at this game the same way ever again. The first of which is called the sunk cost fallacy. We see this in Fortnite in the form of skins and battle passes that you've already invested tons of money into, and if you quit playing the game, well then all that money was for nothing. Or skills that you've built up playing this game, no pun intended, but especially if you're a build player, all those high ground retakes and side jumps that you spent hours and hours perfecting in creative will have all been for nothing if you quit playing the game. So you keep playing the game strictly because of your prior investment into the game. Sometimes we continue to invest time, money, or effort into something only because we've already invested time, money, or effort into the thing, not because we actually want to do the thing anymore. It's like when you buy food that like tastes like shit or is like cold or something, but you eat it anyway because you got to get your money's worth. And I kind of get that because this economy is a little crazy. The next one on our list is FOMO, or fear of missing out. I'm sure you've heard of this one, but Fortnite pulls this off probably better than anything that has ever existed. Giant digital concerts from prominent artists, live events that only happen one time that dramatically change the game, most of the time for the worse, but you still want to be a part of it. Crazy collabs or battle pass skins that are never going to return, or even something just as simple as your friends having fun on the game without you. Also, I couldn't really find a good spot to put this into the video, but I read a statistic that said 5% of all divorces in the UK are because of Fortnite, and that's insane. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, next one on our list is the other one that you've definitely heard of: nostalgia. The old graphics were better. The old movement was better. The old maps were better. The old weapons were better. But were they really? Because when you look back, pretty much every single Chapter 1 POI was like the same house copy and pasted 6 times across an area. And some of the old weapons were pretty good, but what about the scoped revolver? What about the fully automatic sniper rifle? What about... Regardless, this one is like an infinite money glitch for Fortnite. Look at the success of Season OG. Look at the success of Fortnite Reload. Chapter 2 OG isn't even out yet, and people are already freaking out about that. There's a lot of reasons that nostalgia happens, but I'm not going to bore you. Basically, your memory chooses to hold on to positive things and let go of negative things, as long as they weren't too traumatic, which is why when you look back, things seem like they were really good when they really weren't, and life sucked just as bad back then as it does now. Number 4 is the Skinner box. Okay, so the original Skinner box worked like this. They put a rat in a box. In the box was a button. They wanted to see how many times they could get that rat to push that button by giving him a reward like food or cheese or some shit when he pushed it. And what they found was the more randomly they gave him the reward, the more he would push the button. The next thing they found out is this also works on humans, and then a week later, Las Vegas was born. This exists in Fortnite 2 in the form of chests. These are basically just slot machines, but with guns. Fortnite is not the first game to do this at all, but man, have they perfected it. They have this colored rarity system, so you don't have to worry about like weapon stats or any dumb shit like that. All you gotta know is that purple is better than blue. And just like Las Vegas, sometimes you hit the jackpot, but most time you get like a great pistol. But the weapons in the chest isn't the only dirty little trick that Epic Games is pulling. It's also the sound of the chest, which is number 5 on our list, Pavlov's dogs. You may have heard of this one. Every time you hear one of those chests, a bunch of dopamine and other feel-good chemicals get shot into your brain. Fortnite has hundreds of different ways they do this. Every time you level up, there's a sound. Every time you discover a new area, there's a sound. Every time you eliminate an enemy, there's a sound. How many of you have gotten nervous or anxious near the end of a Fortnite match when there's only a couple people left? Statistically speaking, this doesn't even make sense because you're more likely to die when there's 99 other people and you have like 2 pistols and a bubble shield than when there's only like 4 other people and you have a full loadout. But then Fortnite hits you with one of these joints. That is the sound effect that goes off when there's only 5 people left in the match. And it's basically just letting you know you're getting closer to the prize that you want, which you think is the victory royale, but it's actually just the dopamine and other feel-good shit that gets shot into your brain when you get the victory royale, which of course comes with its own sound effect. So all of that nervousness and anxiousness is partly manufactured by Epic Games' dirty little tricks. Most of these things can fall under the category of reward schedules. There's 4 different kinds of reward schedules. Number 1, I might need my phone for this one. This is a lot of shit. to memorize. The first one is called a variable ratio schedule. This rewards the player after a random number of actions, like rewarding the player with a gold shotgun after opening a random number of chests. The second one is a fixed ratio schedule. This means the player receives a reward after a specific amount of actions. This one also exists in Fortnite with daily challenges, weekly challenges, even something just as simple as like buying a big pot from a vending machine. The third one is called fixed interval schedule. So the player receives a reward after a specific amount of time. You see this with creative maps that give you like 10,000 XP for playing the map for 30 minutes, or even just like with new seasons. Like you wait 60 days, you get a brand new season. And the last one is variable interval schedule. So the player receives a reward after a random amount of time. So you see this in like cash cups. You get more placement points if you stay alive longer than other teams, but the amount of time you actually have to stay alive is usually different in every match. This also works in reverse. So you can receive a random reward after a specific amount of time. So like when the zone pulls to you after the storm timer hits 0. Or like when I say, hey, if you enjoyed this video, you should consider using code mechanical in the Fortnite item shop. Some random amount of you will be kind enough to do that, and then I'll receive a random amount paycheck from Epic Games, and I appreciate that. Or like when I say, if you enjoyed this video, you should also subscribe to the channel. Some random amount of you will actually be kind enough to do that, and I really appreciate that. I'll see you guys in the next one.